Let's get this COVID hair.
Looking good, man.
Oh yeah.
That.
Yeah. That is just.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mwah.
I know, you'd be surprised to know I'm married.
Obviously, she said yes before seeing that hair.
Although I think I just got a divorce because she saw it and gave me a look. So
I actually told you to please don't go on camera like that too.
Oh, apparently she said I shouldn't be on camera looking like that. So good thing you weren't recording. Falcon and the Winter Soldier just wrapped up.
Yes, that is the main topic.
That is the only topic, Geek Pantsers.
The only
Falcon
topic.
and the Winter Soldier. I didn't write any notes. I didn't write anything down.
I have nothing too.
It's not that I have nothing. It's that I knew it was coming. So, yeah. I mean, and most, honestly, I feel like it's similar to WandaVision where I don't really think there's too many things that I'm just kind of like, I didn't really like that. It's mostly just kind of like, I'm intrigued as to where this goes, knowing that this show leads into a Cap 4 is awesome. Like, that was huge news. And it's the same guy who directed the TV show, which is also huge news, which is also really cool. And I like that he was the only guy that directed the entire season. There was no like
ran the
this
whole
person, this person does episode 2, that person does episode 3. So I mean, it didn't feel it felt a much more seamless than WandaVision did. But I felt like WandaVision had to have those separate episodes because it specifically mined a certain type and era of TV, so that and it worked perfectly. Like I wasn't just like, oh, this feels disjointed. It feels like there's multiple directors. I never felt like that, but I'm actually glad that there was one guy all the way through.
Yep.
And totally ripped off the Russo style, which works perfectly.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, they kind of had to, if you think about it, because that's all Falcon and Winter Soldier have been since they started, was the Russo style.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I mean, and if you're gonna rip off anybody in recent memory, why not the Russos?
Why not the guys that made one of the biggest movies in history?
And like every movie that they did got like bigger and bigger, you know. So it's like Winter Soldier, huge. Cap 3, huge, and part of it is because of them. Also, part of it is because it was like Avengers
2.5.
2.5. Yeah, that's right. That's the number, right? You know, but then then they hit Avengers Infinity War, and that's massive.
Oh, that's on a whole different level.
And then the pinnacle is Endgame, and you're just like if you would have said the guys that directed Winter Soldier, so Winter Soldier came out and you said, hey, they're going to direct the Avengers movie, my first thought would be like, okay, all right, that's going to be good. Yeah. That's going to be, I don't see any reason why it's going to be good or it's not going to be good. But if you would have said it was going to make like billions of dollars and it was going to set box office records until Avatar had to be re-released to beat them. I would have been like I actually would have said, yeah, I don't know if they would have, they'd like smash. I mean, I probably set records, but I don't think it'll be anything crazy. But then if like after Civil War, if you would have had that conversation with me, I'd be like, yeah, there's no way it's not going to make, there's no way it's not going to make billions of dollars. I mean, look how well they juggled that many characters. And one of them was an introduction of Spider-Man, which you really have to stick the landing on that one. Because if that didn't stick, then you fuck up Spider-Man in his follow-up movie. And Black Panther too. So you have 2 intros that you have to stick the landing on, and you can potentially fuck up 2 franchises by not sticking the landing. And you're right, they stuck both of them.
Oh yeah.
Both of them. God damn, it was so good. So anyway, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Geek Pantsers, it's a really good show. It's a really good show. Really good show.
It's funny when we were talking, like I said, because you said, oh, last episode's coming up. I was like, what, already? Because it's crazy to me that it's 3 episodes shorter than WandaVision. I assumed, and I think it's a pretty safe assumption that every season.
I thought so too.
same amount of episodes.
I thought so too.
But you're totally right. Like where it ended, they couldn't have added anything to it without making it just like drag.
Yeah, it did seem much more tighter. And I don't want to use that as sort of a slight against WandaVision, because I do feel like WandaVision's length was perfect too.
Yeah.
But I also feel like WandaVision had way more story to tell than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, yes, there's not just the central story of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's a number of stories, but we had to deal with, the origin of Harkness, the real official origin of Wanda.
Yep.
You know, we have to deal with all the trauma that led up to Pleasantville. That's not the place of it. What's it called again?
It pretty much is Pleasantville, though.
It might as well be Pleasantville. Yeah, it fits. It fits.
Yeah.
So then, plus we have to deal with like Vision's story, the kids, all this stuff, and then tying into Doctor Strange and into the rest of the MCU.
Yeah.
The introduction of Spectrum, or reintroduction, I should say, but like.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot going on. So I feel like they did need the extra 2 episodes. It was 8 episodes, right? Yeah.
They really used the first couple, maybe even 3 episodes as kind of just like,
they're easing you in. They're easing you in.
Yeah, they're just playing with it.
That's right. That's right.
Which was episode 4, like it was nonstop. Like the pacing was crazy. Right to
and
the
you
end.
see it ratings too. Like ratings for the first 3 are kind of like this, and then 4, it's like, oof. So it takes off. Whereas you get a sort of like hit the ground running feeling with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and also because like this is a spy action show, buddy comedy with obviously like racial overtones and undertones, and man, there's just so much good going on with this. Like, again, I'm floored. I now I'm gonna watch every single TV show that they shove in my face, and I'll probably like every single one. But I am also noticing we're getting a different. So we got like bonkers, high concept with WandaVision.
Yep.
And then we got a pretty straightforward like action buddy comedy to sort of palate cleanse. And then next June is Loki, and that's going to be bonkers because it's a high concept time travel.
Insane. And then what do we got after that? What's out right after Loki? Ms. Marvel? Is it Miss Marvel after that?
I can't remember, actually. I think it is Miss Marvel. It might be Miss Marvel.
I know Miss Marvel. I think Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and Moon Knight are all the next 3 kind of in the works.
They are the next 3. But She-Hulk and Moon Knight are 2021 or 2022. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. Ms. Marvel ends out.
Moon Knight and She-Hulk has me so excited.
I can't wait for any of them now. Like, I think it's so hilarious.
I'm on the fence with Secret Invasion.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think it's funny that even at the beginning when we were talking about Phase 4 and we're like TV shows, like what the fuck? And now I'm like, this is awesome. I don't want to miss a thing.
But I think a lot of that has to do with COVID too. If the movies could still play normally, I still feel like I would be like TV shows.
You know what? I have to disagree because like once I saw WandaVision, I was like, okay, I'm in. And then this one just sort of like hammered it home where I'm like, okay, this is a great way to do it. Now, it would be cool if we had interspersed movies in between them. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I'd be all over that because like
at least we got Black Widow coming finally.
Yeah, I know. Like I can't wait to see Black Widow. I'm actually intrigued by Shang-Chi. I think I might actually see that in the theater. I'm digging it so far.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence with it. The trailer gave me Black Panther vibes, where I was just like, yeah, okay. But then I watched Black Panther, and I was like, that was fucking amazing. So
that's kind of why, and I got a similar vibe from it. But that's immediately where I was at. Yeah, but and it was the same with Captain Marvel, where I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, and then I watched the movie and I was like, this is actually better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we're getting out of the characters now where I don't care about them in the comic books. So it's going to be harder for me to really click with the movies.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I thought it was funny how you were like in our Masters of the Universe one where you mentioned Shang-Chi and it was like Asian character. Like I think you said D-list character.
Yeah, we're getting into the C and D listers now. So.
C and D listers now, and you said that, I remember thinking like, yeah, that's right, that we're there. And isn't it fucking ridiculous that we had to get to like C's and D's? And I think Shang-Chi's more of a D or an E character.
Yeah, I mean the guy's held like 2 miniseries over a decade.
We had to get to him, and we had to get to E level just for an Asian character that could like hold their own movie, which is ridiculous. Like it's absolutely ridiculous that we had to get that far.
Crazy ridiculous.
I mean, now in retrospect, I'm like, could have just made Iron Fist Asian.
I mean, they could have.
They could have. Like, I wouldn't have griped about it too much. I would have griped about it because, like, I'm like, why do we have to change characters like that type of thing?
But then they'll kind of be like, why make a white guy Asian when you got Shang-Chi, which is pretty much an Iron Fist without an Iron Fist? Right.
But either way, like, I'm looking forward to it, and also it's just one more set of eyes on the product. That's my main fucking like theme is more people that watch this, the more people that will continue to buy into this medium, that will be inspired by it and hopefully live their lives to the best they can because of it. So why not?
And I mean, really, I don't care what they release. If they release a movie where I'm just like, man, and I don't want to watch it, I don't give a shit. There's going to be a lot of people out there that do want to watch it and are going to love it. Good for them, right?
They've already started. The actors already had like a video where he says like, "Hey, for the people that are going to watch this movie, that you're excited, awesome. And for the ones that aren't, just give it a shot. Just give it a chance, and maybe keep your opinions to yourself until you watch this."
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous that you actually have to preemptively say, "Hey, all you fucking trolls out there, chill out, okay? Just take a breath. Check out the movie. You might like it."
Yeah. And that's all really it comes down to. I mean,
yeah, exactly. I mean,
I don't care. I'm pumped for Black Widow. I'm going to watch Black Widow. I bet you there's a lot of people that don't really give a shit about Black Widow and they're not going to watch it. Whatever.
Yeah, well, whatever. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to enjoy it.
Oh, that What If? That's their show after Loki.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll check out that one. I mean, Chris Evans is reprising, or he's playing Peter Parker.
Yeah,
which is kind of interesting.
It looks cool.
And now I'm like, why couldn't he be Peter Parker in Spider-Verse 2? That'd be great.
Yeah,
just great. Or sorry, I meant Spider-Man No Way Home. I think that's Spider-Verse 2, right?
Yeah, 2.5.
Why not, right? Or it would be 1.5. 1.5.
I am excited for Spider-Verse 2, like the actual Spider-Verse 2. The fact that they're bringing in the animated Spidey from the 90s and the same voice actors are turning.
I honestly can't wait. I honestly cannot wait.
Yeah.
So like that was another one of those movies where I was like, I don't know, this could be really good, but I don't know if it's going to be as good. And like then you watch it and you're like, this is one of my favorite Spider-Man movies, period.
Easily.
Like that's it. That's all. It's not my favorite of all time, but it's like, I think I'm currently at top 4. I think it's top 4. It's definitely top 5 for sure.
Spider-Verse?
Definitely top 5. Yeah.
For what? Like superheroes or Spidey movies?
Spidey movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My top 3.
I think it's actually, hold on. So I'm like Spider-Man 2.
I'm kind of Spider-Man 2, and then right after that, it's like Spider-Verse, and then boom, Spidey.
I'm actually more Spider-Man 2, Homecoming, and Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
That's where I'm currently at for my top 3. That's right. And then Spider-Man. And then Far From Home.
And then Far From Home. See, I like Far From Home, I think, more than Homecoming when I really think about it.
Far From Home. You know what? It's today. Today, I'm telling you that's where the ranking is at. But tomorrow, I might watch Far From Home and be like, nah, man, this is like they're both really good movies. But
They're both
I just
really good.
I feel like the spirit of Spider-Man is more so in Homecoming than it is in Far From Home, which is ironic because the whole movie is him trying to stand on his own 2 feet
Yeah.
without trying to be Tony Stark, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, flying in jets and making suits and in jets.
That one I'm like, that's okay because now you have your cake and eat it too. You have Peter Parker make his suit, which is what you wanted. He just does it with Stark Tech, which is fine.
It's what I wanted. I'm still not fully getting what I want though. Okay, I'm excited for Spider-Verse or Spider-Verse. I'm excited for Spider-Man 3 because of my love of those movies. But at the same time, I'm not excited because that means one more Tom Holland Spidey where he's depending on other people.
And he's not the sole focus.
Yep. So
we'll see what happens.
We'll
see what happens. Maybe it'll just be a little positive, As my De Niro face.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
I don't really do a De Niro impression, but his face, I can do pretty good.
The face
do a pretty good De Niro face.
Face is really great. Yeah.
So anyway, enough about this fucking Spider-Man bullshit. Can we go like one Camcast where you don't talk about Spider-Man?
Yeah, what the fuck? Wrestling?
I think it's mostly me too. Anyway, so Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You know what? I'm just gonna say a couple of things that I maybe not necessarily didn't like, but I'll just get whatever like nitpicks I have out of the way first, and then we'll just gush unless you have like other ways you want to do this.
No, I mean I got no notes, so
yeah, okay.
We're just gonna go for it.
So, my first, well, I mean, just my nitpick. One of my nitpicks is Sharon Carter's character. The tease about whether or not she's the power broker. I know, like they say in the last episode, they actually like refer to her as the power broker, but you could argue that was only because Batroc thought she was the power broker and she was like maybe stepping into the role as power broker or whatever, but you could argue that Sharon was like deep cover. Yeah. But ultimately, I think, even though we didn't get to see a Skrull tease, I think they should have at least given you some sort of a hint that she was a Skrull. Because even if she is the power broker, 100%, and let's say for the sake of argument, she's 100% the power broker. She totally was the entire time she's a power broker. Yeah. That's so completely out of character for Sharon. Like, even when she starts to kind of write off her attitude and actions as being like, well, not all of us got pardons.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, when I watched Winter Soldier, you were part of the CIA and you like in secret helped Captain America in Civil War, and now we're talking like that's almost 10 years removed because of the blip and everything. So wouldn't she have been like, why wouldn't she have been pardoned? They didn't explain. I guess if they would explain that much, maybe. Yeah. And also like I mean, for Christ, it's such a weird character misalignment that I have no choice but to think she is a Skrull, because that's the only way to explain it to me, where I go, okay, that makes sense. It makes sense that she would be, off in Europe as the power broker, doing all these like weird back alley deals.
Yep.
Just so that, she can get a hold of the super soldier serum, or maybe ultimately destroy it. So that way they can't create an army of Captain Americas to help fight the Skrulls, right?
Right.
So that was one. That's one that I still like, no matter how I look at it, I'm like, it was awesome to see her. And she, again, played the role really great.
Yep.
Looked like a legit ass kicker. Definitely looked like somebody who could like run shoulder to shoulder with Bucky and Falcon and Captain America, as she should. But the power broker stuff just really didn't do anything.
No, I totally agree. And that was one of my negatives in the show, because I was super happy to see Sharon Carter back. And I understood why she was doing what she was doing well, not in the US. And very cool to go to Madripoor. Very cool.
Yes. Oh, when I heard Madripoor, I was like, woo!
Very cool. I'm like, oh yes.
Nice. Can we just see a clip of some
just the hair.
Big-haired midget?
Just the hair.
Yeah, just a big-haired midget smoking a cigar. Like, you don't have to show his face, but I'll know.
Yeah.
I'll know it's him.
But then the whole end where I was like, okay, she's not the power broker, and then she is, and I'm like, this is so fucking strange. This is so weird.
Exactly.
They scroll. I'm like, oh yeah, they are doing the scroll shit. So probably.
Yeah. So they have to do something. They have to drop hints about someone. I feel like that's the easiest one. If they do actually have her as a scroll, I'll be like, okay, that makes sense. If they don't, I'll still be like, what the fuck? This makes no sense.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense for the real Sharon Carter. It honestly wouldn't. I mean, Peggy was her hero. Her grandmother was her hero.
Exactly.
And you'd never do something like that. So I mean, and Steve, she loved him as a man and what he stood for, and none of it made sense for a character. None of it.
And I mean, there was even sort of like a hint or two that she could hook up with Bucky.
Yeah.
And even then I was like, well, that actually works. I feel like that works better.
Yeah. Me too. Absolutely.
But so that I felt was like a misstep for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. There was something else. Oh, killing off Batroc. I didn't like that.
No, I didn't like that. I was really happy to see him back in 2 episodes.
And for more than one. Yeah, I was going to say for more than one episode. I was like super pumped, and I'm like, okay, all right,
very cool.
And then they killed him off, and I was like,
Well, they killed off pretty much everybody in this, besides Z.
Yeah.
Flag Smashers. What do you think about the Flag Smashers?
I liked it. I liked the concept. In fact, the whole concept based on treating the blip as not a punchline like they did in Far From Home, but actually like looking at the serious ramifications of having the entire world move on after half the population was like disappeared. And then they came back, and then they're like, well, we don't really have any room for you. We did fine without you. So into like refugee camps and stuff like that. And like now that whole section of the population is just at the bottom, the absolute bottom. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So with the Flag Smashers idea of taking the world back to the, the snapping, like pre-snapping, then it's like that, like it makes a lot of sense. And I like it because they start off and you're like, okay, all right. Like you're almost rooting for them because you can understand why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But it's only until Carly kills the people that then you start to go, okay, all right. But their look was great. I liked how it was essentially just a mask with the slash marks. I thought that was cool. And I thought it was, I liked how like, you didn't really know who was a Flag Smasher until you knew.
Yeah.
Like, especially towards the last couple episodes where they were like literally hammering it out so that there was more Flag Smashers than you had seen prior. Right. So the concept I thought was great. I thought it was great how like you had the one core Flag Smasher in Carly, Morgenthau. Anyway, and how that was a gender swap. But I was like, that it worked. It worked fine. But then I liked how she had like her own group of them, and they were all Flag Smashers. I liked it. I thought it was awesome. There was no real complaints about it, except that they killed her off.
Yeah, they did. They did.
And
I thought she was the only interesting Flag Smasher of the bunch.
She had to be. She had to be the only one. She was the anchor.
I was just in that, like, I don't know. They bored me as villains.
Okay.
I mean,
that's all I got.
That's really all it comes down to. Like, Marvel Universe is so rich with characters, and you just, all these people that don't really exist.
Okay, I mean, I get it.
It's just it bugs me when they like a whole show is spent on these characters that don't exist in the comics when there's so many characters in the comics that could come to life in the show.
Okay, I mean, I still maintain I liked the twist on the concept of Flag Smasher.
Yeah,
it worked for me.
Good.
Thanks. I don't really think I have. Yeah, I think that's good for. Anyway, what else? What do you think of the potential for the second Falcon?
The second Falcon.
Yeah.
I mean, Falcon's he's Captain America, but he's still kind of the Falcon, right? He's still got the wings and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, they introduced that character in the comic books. They had him do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And he retools Red Wing, and he's going to fix up those wings. I feel like if he doesn't become Falcon, that's a missed opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in Cap 4.
I kind of have a feeling we're going to see Patriot from the Young Avengers, if anything.
I don't think so. I think
No?
I think they'll save him for Young Avengers, which they should. They should.
Because right now they're putting together the Young Avengers as you watch it.
No, I know, and that's fine. Because the thing with Patriot though is his story is only tangentially tied to Captain America. His story is Isaiah Bradley, so it's all Isaiah Bradley because he's the grandson.
Bradley's totally connected to the Falcon now, or Captain America.
Right, and I mean, yes, Isaiah Bradley is linked to Captain America, but even in the comic books, it was Young Avengers was when he was introduced as Patriot.
Yeah,
and his story is interesting because I don't know how they're going to do the powers aspect because he wasn't on the mutant growth hormone.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, he was on that. I think it was mutant growth hormone, MGH, and that's what he was taking. And he lied to everybody and said that he had Isaiah Bradley's blood in him, and that's why he was able to do the things. And I think he ended up stopping the drugs and stayed on as the leader, kind of like Batman or like Nightwing, where he's the leader even though he has no powers. He's just the best leader out of all of them. So
yeah,
I don't think you'll see him in Cap 4 or anything other than like maybe a quick cameo, if that. Like it might open on the funeral for Isaiah Bradley, and you see him there, and that's that kind of thing. But that's it. He might get a head nod. I don't think he gets a, "Hey man, how's it going? You doing some training? You thinking of patrolling the streets or whatever? Because we got a Young Avengers initiative happening, and you should probably sign up."
Did they say the kid that was with Isaiah in the show? Did they say what his name was?
If they did, I couldn't remember.
I mean, that could be Patriot for all we know.
Well, hold on. Sorry, the kid Isaiah.
Yeah, Isaiah had that young kid living with him.
Yeah, that was his grandson. I'm almost certain.
They could technically make him Patriot, though.
He would be Patriot.
Right. So they've introduced him already.
Yeah, I thought you understood that. I thought you understood that was who he was.
No, I totally, I don't really recall the origin in the comic of Patriot. So when
I'm surprised that I do.
You remember all that weird shit.
Actually, yeah, at this point, I shouldn't be surprised. No. So in the comic books, Patriot is the grandson of Isaiah Bradley.
Okay, so this is him in the show then.
That is. It is 100% him.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, but I still maintain.
Okay.
If it's a funeral type thing in Cap 4, and I'm calling it right now that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Then you're only going to see him. He might get like a handshake type of thing, but it's not going to be a dialogue of any sort. And I do think that they will save that for Young Avengers if they're smart.
They got to save someone, right? Well, I mean, they haven't introduced Hulkling or who's the other one?
It's Wiccan and
Wiccan and Speed are introduced already.
Wiccan and Speed are introduced, so they're okay. So it's Hulkling.
Hulkling. Who's
Hawkeye's daughter.
Right.
And Scott Lang's daughter.
Right. And they're introducing them. Oh yeah, Hawkeye's coming up too. That's probably after.
Hawkeye's coming up. And so that's where we get the full on introduction for her.
Yeah.
And I believe Ant-Man 3 has got
Cassie
in there.
Because she's grown up now.
That's right. So she ends up being, I think it's Stature.
Yeah, she's Stature. And
then the other one's just Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I just call her Hawkeye, which is fine. Again, I'm okay with it. I saw the screenshot of her in her costume and I thought, okay, that works. I like it.
I'm excited for the Young Avengers. And then hell, they could even have Zemo break out of the raft with the Thunderbolts and that could be the villains for them to fight.
Speaking of which, I thought it was hilarious that I was like, Thunderbolts. And then at the end of that episode, he's in the raft.
He's in the raft.
I honestly felt like tweeting like, hey, motherfucker, guess who called that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
so he's there. I'm glad he's still alive.
Yeah.
I
also
the growth of his character in the show. I mean, this isn't a negative by any means, but like the growth of his character in this show, because he was kind of like he was interesting, but at the same time, he was kind of like a one-note kind of bad guy in Civil War. Like,
yep.
It was really cool to see him in, and he's got the friggin' pimp jacket, got the mask on for a scene. Like that was awesome.
I would have liked to see more with the mask, but I understand why we only saw the once.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay with it. But I mean, they did a great job. I actually really liked how he's a man of conviction.
Yeah.
Where he was like, look, fuck super soldiers. They look at them like they're gods, but they're not, right? And then when he had the opportunity for the super soldier serum, he destroys it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really cool. Really cool.
Scoop that up.
And he could have scooped it up and did it and said, you know what, I got to fight fire with fire, right? Because he's a bad guy, so he doesn't really have to. It's like when we talk about wrestling, like if you're a heel, you just say whatever the hell you want, do whatever you want. And if you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, you can just be like, fuck, I lied. I don't care.
That's great.
I don't fucking have to say, I don't have to do anything you want me to do.
What do you expect?
I got what I wanted, which was I won. Yep. That's it, right? So they could have gone that route, but I do like how they made him a little bit more nuanced and made him a little bit more of the kind of bad guy where you can kind of see where he comes from.
Yes. Absolutely, actually.
Yeah. Which means if they do the full-on Thunderbolts thing, and I really hope that they try to do it like the original Thunderbolts, where it's the Masters of Evil in costume as the Thunderbolts. So with it, we know that it's Zemo as Major Victory.
Yeah.
But the rest of the world doesn't, and they're like a Suicide Squad type of thing. Yeah. But I feel like they're probably just going to go with Zemo, like their actual incarnations, as opposed to the hidden aspect. Because, it's easier that way, and not everyone is familiar with the concept of Thunderbolts. Or if they are, there might not be familiar with the original concept. Because I think in most recent versions, they're pretty much just like a government black ops team.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And wasn't U.S. Agent leading them at one point?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me if at one point he was. I know that Thunderbolt Ross was leading it as Red Hulk.
Yeah, he was on there.
But in any event, that was the other part too, was knowing that we were going to get to U.S. Agent and having him be the guy that leads the Thunderbolts. Yeah. At least that's what it appears to be. I think it works really well.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that U.S. Agent costume though.
That looks great. So good.
Now, I got to tell you, I actually really liked John Walker's Captain America costume because I would not have wanted him to wear the actual Captain America suit. And I'm glad that they didn't, but it makes sense because it's essentially like a corporation going, this is what Captain America should look like now. We should update it, modernize it, make it our own type of thing.
Yep.
So I liked it how it looked like a Captain America suit, but it wasn't the Captain America suit, but also immediately looked like US agent suit. So I was like, I can't wait to see what the official version looks like. And then when you see it and it's black and red and red and white was the stripes. Awesome. I was like,
it looks awesome. And you know what? Like Wyatt Russell did such a great job as that character.
And they did such a good job with that character too, because like I like how they get to that point where like he kills the guy.
Yeah.
He's like stripped of Captain America, and he's like, "Look, you don't understand the pressure I'm under. Like, I'm a fucking soldier, and now I'm Captain America. Like, you don't get it." And then at the end, there's a clear choice where he could kill or help, and he helps. And I was so glad they did that because
me too.
That's another part of US Agent where, like, I look at US Agent as like the Red Hood, where he's the guy that's going to do the things that Batman won't or can't do. And he's not going to feel that bad about it, So U.S. Agent being the perfect soldier is a perfect analogy. So he's still a good guy, and they still maintain that. He was just what needs conflicted.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I really liked the chemistry with like him and his wife, like how she was always there when he was trying on the suits and everything. And and I was just like, oh yeah, that's cute. That's cute.
It was great. That whole thing was great. His story arc was amazing.
Here's something that didn't click with me and should have. That's Kurt Russell's son.
How did you not know that?
I did not know that. I did not know that at all until I read Kurt, his parents, Kurt and Goldie or something in an article. I was just like, oh my God.
1 second. Michelle, can you get my drink for me, please? Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't make the connection right away. But I mean, he looks so much like his dad. Like it's crazy.
He even sounds like him. Like after I found out, and when I was listening to him, I was like, Jesus, he sounds like Kurt. How did I not get?
Yeah, when I Googled him, actually, that's when I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense that he's their son. But it's funny, he's actually gone on record saying he will not play Snake Plissken.
Yeah, I will not do a remake.
And I was like, you say that now, but if somebody offers you a truckload of money.
And you're
probably going to be Snake Plissken.
Dad's like, go for it.
Fuck, even if his dad says, yeah, I'd rather you didn't.
How about Kurt come back too, and we have the son of Snake?
I was just going to say, they'll just go, hold on. Maybe it's not Snake Plissken, but it's Snake Plissken Jr., and we just never refer to him as Junior, ever.
It's Solid Plissken. Yeah. Because
it's like Nick Fury Jr., where they just call him Nick Fury.
For no reason.
Well, because it would be confusing. Because then you'd have people watching the MCU movies, check out the comic books, and then go, "Why is Nick Fury a cranky old white guy? Like this makes no sense."
Oh well, that's based on the Ultimate Universe.
That's right. And then they go, "Okay, so I got to read the Ultimate books." No. Just wait. We've already introduced Nick Fury Jr.
Yeah.
And then we'll kill off Nick Fury, and then we'll never call him Nick Fury Jr. again. And that's a legit thing they did at comic books. And so far, it's stuck.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Because isn't Nick Fury still the Watcher?
Yes, he is. He's on the moon.
I am just.
Jeez, man.
Oh, man. I am great. And I didn't even read that book.
I was so confused. Like I was reading Exiles, and then Blink goes up to the moon. And Nick Fury's there, like in a cloak and everything, talking to her. And
right.
Like, when did this happen?
Yeah, that was ridiculous because you found out that like he was on the blue side of the moon.
Yeah.
And he was the guy, like the last ditch effort for any sort of cosmic entities showing up on Earth. And all the Nick Furies that were down Earth were all life model decoys. And I have wasted my life. Because I know all of this. I know all of this, and I didn't even read the book. I read the last issue of that. What was it? Fear Itself?
Yeah.
No, Original Sin.
Oh.
Because Fear Itself was with Thor.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where you got to see like
Original Sin.
They all got their own Mjolnirs.
Yeah. I was so done with like those books by then. I was just like, I can't believe that they're still doing yearly freaking event books. Like,
I know, like, make it every 2 years now.
Yeah.
Make it every 2 years now, because then, like, I mean, yes, you're always going to get a sales bump every year with those events, but like, make it 2 years, and in those 2 years, have those lasting changes. You know, because like it was, what the hell was it? Secret Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
And Secret Invasion bled into. Oh, let's back up here. Let's back up. So we had, what's the one where Norman Osborn took over in Secret Invasion? That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. He killed was it the Thor book? You know what? I'm getting a little bit mixed up here. A little bit mixed up. I know
I think Secret Invasion was the last one I read for like event books. And I was like, nah, I'm done with these.
Yeah. But there was the one where, because like there was the Avengers run by Norman Osborn, and it was no longer Shield, it was Hammer.
Yep.
That's right. And he was the Iron Patriot. And then you had Dakin as Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I think Secret Invasion led into that.
I'm gonna see. I gotta take a look here.
Yeah, let's see how well I'm doing.
I gotta take a. Let's see. Where are we here? Major events. Going all the way up to the 2000s here. Okay.
Yeah, it was Civil War.
Let's see.
And then Civil War, I think, led into Secret Invasion.
Right.
And then Secret Invasion led into Fear Itself.
Where the hell is Civil War on this list? Or maximum. Secret War. Right. Then they had Annihilation, Secret War, Annihilation, Conquest, War of Kings, Realm of Kings. Yeah, they don't even have it on here. Shadowland, Chaos War, Exiled, Inhumanity, Revolutionary War. Dude, they got like 4 a year. It's stupid.
Yeah,
like,
but I'm looking at like the big ones, right? Like the big line-wide events.
Damnation. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't even give me Civil War on that list.
Anyway, we don't really have to go through that now.
Okay, I got it.
Oh, okay.
I got it. Civil War.
Yep.
Then Planet Hulk, or World War Hulk.
Right. Okay.
Right, and then they had War of Kings was the next big one, and then it was Siege, the Thor one.
That's the one I'm thinking about. So Siege is where Norman Osborn took out the main guy, and then he ended up leading it. That led into Secret Invasion.
Yeah, Chaos War, Age of Ultron. Right, and then they had the Avengers and X-Men crossover, and Secret Wars, Civil War 2, Secret Empire, Infinity Wars, War of the Realms. And then Absolute Carnage and Empire, and now they just did King in Black.
Empire came and went.
Yeah, that was gone in a flash.
Oh, you know what? I was like, whatever. fine.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to do. That's fine. I don't need to check it out.
No. So yeah, anyway, I don't even know where we were going with all of that, but I think we were just discussing how you know a lot of stuff.
I think that's ultimately what happened.
Yeah, that's pretty much that was.
It started off with me talking about how U.S. Agent may or may not have led the Thunderbolts and how I know so much shit about comic books that it's crazy. And it's even funnier too, where it's like it's not just like localized to DC.
Mhm.
It's almost all encompassing. If it's Marvel and it's DC, chances are I know about it.
Yep. Yeah. Oh shit. And then you got your Savage Dragon corner of the Image universe on there.
Yeah, not as much though. Not as much because like Savage Dragon, sure, I know quite a bit about that.
Yep.
I know chunks about Invincible, but I don't know all about Invincible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know bits and pieces about Gen 13, like the Wildstorm stuff.
Yep.
Actually, I do know quite a bit of
The Image stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the 90s, I mean, Spawn, Youngblood, Shadowhawk, Pit, Max, like, so many.
I read all of them. I've read every single one of those.
Me too. All of them.
Anywho, so back to Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
So you, like the costume for US Agent looks great. But while we're on costumes,
hold on. No. Save it. Save it for when we talk about that person.
Okay, continue.
Only because obviously a large part of this is going to be devoted to this the character arc for Sam.
Yeah.
And it's only fitting that we deal with that when we get to that.
All right. Okay.
The Countess, that was awesome. That was so great. Like I literally went, "Oh my god, she's in the show! This is so cool!" And then when she said her full name, I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right." And then immediately I was like, "Yeah, here we go. This is the backdoor pilot for Thunderbolts."
Yep.
So I mean, it was great. I loved how like even I read reports where they literally like kept her completely covered when they brought her onto the set so that they could film the episode, and then completely covered her to let her leave the set. So that way, like when it did, there was no leaks or anything, and that was it. Like I was like floored when I saw.
I had no idea. Like he's
no clue.
You know, John sitting there on that bench outside the courtroom, and you hear the footsteps coming down the hall. And then I heard her voice.
I thought it was going to be Thunderbolt Ross. I legit thought it was going to be Ross. And I was like, okay.
I heard the voice Ross. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I was like,
oh.
Wow. I did not see her starring in a Marvel show, but that is awesome.
No, me neither, but that was awesome. She's great. I love her. She's one of my favorites, period.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't wait to see her now.
Yeah. So that was exciting.
I will say this: I'm very disappointed that they killed off Battlestar.
Yeah,
really disappointed because I liked him. I liked how. I mean, sure, it fed into John Walker losing himself into Captain America.
Yep.
But like, I feel like you could have just put him into critical condition and got the same result.
Yeah.
You know, because like I liked how they played it right from the beginning. You're introduced to John Walker, his wife, and his best friend.
Yeah.
And the first thing he does when he's Captain America is he brings along his best friend as his Bucky, you know? And in the comic books, that's exactly how it was. You know, Battlestar was John Walker's Captain America's Bucky.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hilarious that you think about it back in the day that they had a black Bucky. A couple of decades ago, you had a black Bucky, and he was tied with John Walker, and John Walker was a racist in the comic books. I don't know if he still is, but he definitely was when he first came out.
Yeah.
Glad they didn't really talk about that so much at all. They just made it that like the dichotomy was Captain America, good man, John Walker, perfect soldier.
Yep.
But I do think it was disappointing to see them kill off Battlestar. He had a pretty sweet costume too. I thought that was really cool.
He did. He had a really cool costume.
And you know, I mean, they worked well together. It would have been nice to see more of that, but
their chemistry together was just as good as Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Exactly. And I mean, and that's another thing too, is like it has to be really good, right?
Mhm.
There has to be good chemistry between them because essentially they're, Cap and Bucky now, right? But although I know we say like essentially they're Cap and Bucky, but like in the MCU, the modern world doesn't necessarily know that Cap and Bucky were like, you know, like tight. They just know that he was on the team and
Yeah.
that they were like best friends. They know they were best friends, but like, I guess it's also because Bucky in the comic books is different than Bucky in the MCU.
Very different.
Because like Bucky in the MCU is just a soldier who ends up being turned into the Winter Soldier, whereas in the comic books, under Brubaker's run, which I just restarted with issue 1, you find out that like Bucky's the guy that's doing all the dirty work.
Yeah.
Like Captain America's wearing the flag, so you can't show him killing too many people, but you can have Bucky in the background sniping out guys or killing people with knives and stuff.
That was such a great run. Oh my god, that was a great run.
Yeah, it was so great. Actually, I am glad I wanted to reference that run because this TV show, there's parts that are heavily inspired by that run, which is really cool, and I like what they did with that. But most of that stuff is tied to Sam, so I don't really have. I don't think I have too much else to get to before we get to Sam.
No, I mean the Bucky stuff was great.
Actually, well, let's do the Bucky stuff. The Bucky stuff was awesome.
Sebastian Stan, for a guy I had no idea who he was when he started playing Bucky. This guy is so great in this role.
He's so good. He's so good that even Rucka, who's like pissed with Marvel right now because he's not getting any like revenue or anything from them or I think he just got like created by Rucka, right? So he's not getting any royalties or anything like that. So he's just like fuck him. Yeah. But he's like, it's tough because he's doing such a great job with the role that I'm more than, even though I'm really super pissed about everything else. I think it's Greg Rucka. I'm pretty sure it's Rucka.
Okay, so Rucka is mad. Why? Because he created
the concept of Bucky as the Winter Soldier is his concept. So he created it, but he's not getting any royalties at all for it.
So he created it, but then Brubaker brought it to life.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant. I meant Brubaker. I always get those two mixed up, Rucka and Brubaker. I always get them mixed up, but yes, it's Brubaker.
Yeah, Brubaker's 100%. Like I feel like it's honestly bullshit that the Marvel movies that were based on characters created by Stanley and Kirby or Ditko or whoever, they'll say the creator names. You got the creator names for Cap there, but when it comes to these lower characters like Falcon and Winter Soldier and stuff, like why doesn't it still say that? Why does it say Falcon created by?
It's I honestly believe it's because the estates of those people, like those creators prior, like fought really hard to make it so, because like Marvel and DC, they own those characters. So,
yeah, they do.
They'll say, yeah, you created this concept, but we own it. So,
I don't know. I think at the end of the day, if you're going to be making money off a creation, even though you do own it, you can at least just throw their name out there, whether they're getting money or revenue off of it.
Yeah, but like,
just give them the.
Well, think about it though. If it wasn't for Brubaker, we wouldn't have had the Winter Soldier.
We wouldn't.
We wouldn't have had. We might have had the death of Captain America, but it's hard to say that they would have had the guts to do it if they didn't already have this character to fall back on.
Yeah.
Maybe they would have went to Falcon first before that, but I don't think so, because I feel like if Falcon didn't have the extra added exposure that he did in the MCU, he would never have become Captain America in the comic books.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't say never, but I have a hard time believing that he would. I think they would have gave it to someone else. They might have even given it to Jack Monroe, who used to be Nomad.
Yeah.
Who used to be a Bucky,
Mm-hmm.
They could have just resurrected him and said, "Hey, all your past sins are forgiven. You're
Yep.
Captain America now." And I guarantee a large part of the fans would go, "Okay, that makes sense." You know?
Yep.
I mean, hell, his Nomad costume was loosely inspired by Steve Rogers' horrifyingly terrible Nomad costume.
90s Nomad is where it's at. The long hair and the trench coat and the baby Bucky on the back.
Yep. The domino mask. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So good. So good. He actually had like the under the jacket was the chest piece of the Nomad suit.
Yep.
Zipped up though. It didn't have that giant disco chest. And no yellow cape, which for some reason Steve Rogers was like, you know what? I need a cape.
I need a cape now.
I'm fine with these.
It's been missing. It's been missing from my life.
But a cape.
I'm on such a 90s Marvel like superhero kick right now. Just because it's the 30th anniversary of like all these characters.
And you're old as fuck and you want to retrace all the steps. Yeah.
I love Darkhawk, right? And I was so pumped to see that Darkhawk one shot come out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And was it all it could be and more?
It was oh man, it was so good. The original creators were on it. Kyle Higgins did it's 3 stories that are all kind of tied together from different spots in Darkhawk's history. So the first story is street based with the original creators. And then the second story is cosmic based with the guys that wrote Annihilation, Landing and Magnet or whatever.
Yep.
And then the third one is today, and it's written by Kyle Higgins. And he hasn't said anything, but he's teasing that he's going to be writing Darkhawk this fall. So
I feel like that one should be like a mini series. Don't say it's a monthly. Say it's a mini series, and then based on sales, then go monthly. Because then you don't have to worry about ending a run before you officially end it, right?
Yeah.
You can write a finite 6-part story, and if people go nuts for it, then give them at least a year, right? Yeah. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't make the decisions at Marvel. Disney does. So what do I know?
What do you know?
Yeah. I know a lot about comic books. That's what I know.
More than Disney.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say yes, more than Disney. I think my knowledge would rival Kevin Feige.
Your knowledge would probably, I think you would have more knowledge than Kevin Feige. Because I don't know if he actually reads the comics or if people just bring him books and go, check out this character and story. And then he reads them. Yeah,
but even then he still has the knowledge, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I got to tell you, you can't.
I've yet to see a picture of him in the comic.
Okay, but you've never actually. You could argue that the Camcasters never seen me read a comic book.
Right, but the crazy amount of Superman and Spider-Man shirts that you have.
Yeah, but plenty of people have Spider-Man shirts and Superman shirts and never read a book in their life.
Idiots.
No, they could be fans of the TV show. They could be fans of the movie. They could be fans of the cartoon. They could be fans of just the concept in general. They don't have to read the books.
The logo,
fan, Kenneth.
The logo.
They could be, that's right. They don't have to be fans.
I have talked to so many people with Thundercat shirts on, and I'm like, "Oh, Thundercats, nice!" And they're like, "Yeah, I like the lion logo."
And then you immediately judge them.
As far as it goes, it's as far as it goes. I'm just like,
yeah, you got to stop gatekeeping, Kenneth. Stop gatekeeping.
I'm not gatekeeping. It's a cool logo. It's a cool logo.
It is.
To talk to somebody about it.
It's so cool. All right. Okay. So I've got nothing else. Everything else is just Sam.
Searching the memory bank real quick.
That I can think of.
Anything else? Oh, very nice to see Rhodey in the first episode.
Yeah, but disappointing not to see him again afterwards. It would have been nice to see.
The whole time I was expecting him to return in some capacity.
I honestly was expecting him in the last episode to just kind of give another little sort of like nod, right? But
because to see him as another black man checking out the Isaiah Bradley statue.
Yeah, that actually would have been a cool way to end it, because that part was awesome. I thought that was so cool.
Dude, I had tears in my eyes.
I was like, oh man, that is awesome. That is awesome. Especially because isn't Rhodey a part of the Armor Wars? And that's another TV show coming up?
Yeah. That's another one.
Now, is he a War Machine or does he become Iron Man?
No, because
why doesn't he become Iron Man?
They're introducing Ironheart, Riri Williams.
Right. But so that means he can't be Iron Man?
Well, isn't she called Iron Man at first?
I thought, you know what? I'm not that familiar with her.
Before Ironheart.
No, you're right. Because wasn't Tony Stark technically dead and he was an AI?
Something like that. Yeah.
I gotta stop, man. It's just I can't help it.
That was Bendis at the end of his Marvel run. like the fucking leader, just like,
yeah. I just
so much going on up in this brain.
Yeah, because I remember bits and pieces towards the end of that run where it was like, we found out that Tony Stark's parents weren't his actual parents, and his parents were really aliens. But nobody talks about that now. So that might have been a quick. They retconned, and then they went, you know what? Maybe we'll just retcon that out of existence.
Yeah.
I think and then they killed him off. That's right. I think his AI was in the Iron Man suit, and that's how she was called Iron Man. Regardless, anyway. Yeah. So anyway, I think that'll be a cool way to introduce her.
Yep.
In that show, unless they can introduce her sooner, but we'll see.
And then they'll likely put her on the Young Avengers too.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't Kang? Young Kang is on Young Avengers too.
Yeah.
Like
Young Kang
looks like a young Vision.
Nope. Young Kang actually looks like a young Kang, but he was originally Iron Lad.
Iron Lad, there it is. Okay. I knew there was an Iron character in there.
Man. You were right. You're right. There was one more character. We both missed it. You helped me remember.
Yeah.
Deep that it is Iron Lad, and he was Kang, a young Kang from the future, sent back in time to change the future.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
Sam.
I've always liked Anthony Mackie's depiction of Sam Wilson. Even like from the second we meet him in the opening minutes of The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Immediately I was like, wow, you guys, like, they could have cast anybody to play Sam Wilson, but they got a guy who at least was directed enough that he understood the character. He got that he was a former soldier. And what always gets me is about in the MCU's portrayal of Sam Wilson, he's really just a regular guy, just like Captain America, like just like Steve Rogers. He's just a guy who just wants to do the right thing, and that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
You know, my only continued complaint with Sam Wilson is his Falcon costumes, aside from Winter Soldier, tend to be on the more bulkier side.
Yes.
And I know you could argue that it has to be a bit more bulkier because he's got a jetpack with wings on his back, right? So he's going to be flying. So there's going to be wind resistance and things like that. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But why is his face almost completely uncovered, except for sunglasses? Yeah. Why does he always have his sleeves rolled up? Right? So, and it seems weird that they go from the sleek, like ultimate style, boring Black Ops suit, right, in Winter Soldier, to each one looking more and more closer to the comic book one, to like even in the first couple episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier, where you've got the white and red color scheme that he's most known for, which is good that they got rid of that brown green shit thing that they had.
Yeah, the original. Yep. Nope. Great.
Oh, just terrible. But like, so that's my only real complaint is that like even the Cap costume is still a little bit on the bulkier side. It looks way better in motion though.
My problem with the Cap costume is I think it looks great. The costume, I don't like the headpiece. I don't like the headgear.
Not a fan of the headpiece either.
And I don't like the headgear because even though it's like the comic book look,
it's literally like almost
it's pretty much identical to the comic. But Sam Wilson, the comic, is drawn with like a longer head, right? Mackie has a very small round head, and by doing this, it makes him
true.
He has a little tiny head on a body, like a big body.
Yeah, you're right.
It really just blocked his face in, and
it's almost like they should have went the Cap helmet style.
Yeah, or like
then just like totally negate all the white stuff here.
Even if they just did the white like up the side of the neck kind of thing,
like right up to
they
there.
go like this, and they go over the goggles and then back down, eh? And it just
yeah
makes his face look really tiny. So like,
yeah, you're right. I got that.
I hope for Captain America 4 they trim that up a bit, because
I think they will. I think the suit will get a little bit more streamlined a bit as well too.
Otherwise,
overall,
it looked awesome, and the way he flew and through the shield, and then, like all the combos he was pulling off.
But I also liked the training montage where they showed him specifically working it so that he could be Captain America, but also like incorporate Falcon into Captain America and make the synthesis really well done. His character arc was really great too. Like I liked how his thought process was nobody could measure up to Steve, so nobody should have the shield. Nobody should be Captain America. Steve was Captain America. That was it. Here's the shield. There you go.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. And it also, I like how it ties into Bucky, where Bucky goes, like,
oh man, he had a really good speech when he was talking about why he was mad that Sam gave the shield up.
Yeah, because if Steve was wrong about Sam, then he must have been wrong about me. And I was like, oh, and it's so great, and we actually should talk about Bucky a bit more too. But anyway, we'll finish up with Sam because we started it.
Well, yeah, we'll do Sam.
We can actually kind of do both at the same time, but because they're pretty close. Like right at the beginning, I remember like there was some people were bitching about how like the first episode was Sam and Bucky separated completely, and I'm like, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a team up with them for the rest of the series. Don't worry. But anyway, I liked where they were at. They were at two different stages in their life, and they're both dealing with the fact that they no longer have their best friend in their life. And they're trying to come to terms with living their life without that person in their life, while at the same time coming to grips with the way the world is now after they had left it for 5 years. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's another thing we don't ever think about it. It's like they were gone, they came back, they saved the world from Thanos, and then now what?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So they have to get back into their lives, and they have to figure out how to live and coexist, while at the same time, like, Sam's got to deal with that mantle. He's got to deal with the fact that he was gifted Captain America, but he doesn't feel like he's Captain America. He doesn't feel like he deserves to be Captain America, And Bucky is pissed because he's like, how could you throw that away? And, and like we just said, like, he's like, if Steve was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me. And now I'm nothing. And I'm nothing. Because we always seem to forget, or they at least gloss over the fact that the whole point of Civil War was because, the Sokovia Accords happened, and it was blamed on Winter Soldier, and Cap did everything he could. He defied the government. He defied his friends to make sure that Bucky wasn't killed.
Yeah.
And like, that's huge. That's huge. Right. But like, so where they are at the beginning makes perfect sense. And then watching them get closer together, getting back to being the friends that they were beforehand was such a treat. But even watching Anthony Mackie play this character, wrestling with this mantle, with what it means, and feeling like that's not him, and that's not for him to be. And then meeting Isaiah Bradley and coming to terms with what happened to soldiers just like him, under the guise of Captain America, the Super Soldier program, and now having to deal with what Captain America means to not just white America, but all Americans. And then watching him slowly get to the point where he's just like, you know what? I'm the only one that can be Captain America. So I'm going to be Captain America. And his whole speech in the last episode was incredible.
That whole speech made the series worth it.
It so did, and it also solidified Sam as Captain America, but as his version of Captain America. Yeah. He wasn't cosplaying as Captain America. Like even the suit, just the fact that the suit is Val Cap infusion, you're like, okay, well, of course. But he literally sat there and stood on his own 2 feet and was like, this is my Captain America. Steve was great. He is my hero. He is my Captain America, but this is me, and this is my version of Captain America. Oh, so good. So good.
So good, man. So good. I gotta say though, Sam pushed that truck back up that was falling, and he's not a super soldier. Like he was blasting with his wings and everything, but he was going like this, and I just feel like that would have killed him.
Realistically speaking, and you'll have to just play the whole it's fake card. But if this was real, like realistically speaking, the truck would have still been pushing. Yeah. And then the jetpacks and every single broken up piece of Red Wing, like it was a cool visual, but they would have just smushed him. Like you're right.
Would have been squashed.
He'd have been dead. He'd have been so dead. There wouldn't have been like enough to pick off. Yeah. Between the two of them, it would just be like, well,
that was
here,
me
Bucky.
Going like,
here's the shield.
If he you're right. If he would have went up to it and like put his wings forward and into it, and then blasted with Red Wing helping him, I would have believed that. But the fact that they had him do this, and I was just like, whoa. But he doesn't have.
Yeah, I agree.
Strength,
I agree.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's different when you have John Walker.
Yeah, him up there,
it back.
pulling it back for sure.
That's different because he's infused with a super soldier serum.
Yeah,
I think he's officially the last one now.
He would be. It's all destroyed.
Yeah, he would be. But yeah, like, but even Bucky's arc, where Bucky, because there's a couple of times in that show where they actually start to tease that maybe Bucky will take the shield, and it never felt wrong. I was never like, yeah, but like, I mean, come on, like, I knew that they were going to go with Mackie or as Wilson as Captain America. I knew that was the end game, but they did such a good job of teasing that he was going to do it because, well, no one else, you know, and what it means to him. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy that they didn't, but I would have been happy if they did. That's the other part, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like they had to give it to Falcon because of the way they build it up. You know, they didn't built it up as both guys could potentially, any one of them. They literally were like, this is the show where you get to see Falcon become Captain America. And the part that I thought was really cool, and this is what I was saying about Brubaker's run, is the whole setup where it culminates with live TV of the new Captain America stopping the terrorists is almost identical to how Brubaker's run had Bucky Cap stop a bunch of terrorists. They weren't flag smashers, if I remember correctly. They were just terrorists, but he stops them and he's on camera being seen doing it. And he says he's the new Captain America.
Yeah.
You know, which I was like, oh, that's actually really cool that they did that. But it's another thing for Brubaker to be like, guys, fucking, I don't know, give me a little credit.
Something.
I mean, you're using my character. That's my character. Winter Soldier is his character.
Yeah.
Backstory for Bucky that they kind of sort of used for Captain America, and then the rest of it, that's because of Brubaker. And then now with this, like the crux of that show being the way that Brubaker's Cap showed up, or Bucky Cap showed up, it's like, guys, come on.
Yeah. And then, I mean, like, even Sam becoming the Falcon, who was that? Was that Rick Remender?
Sam becoming the Falcon?
Yeah. Who was writing Cap when Sam became Falcon?
I think it
Or
was
Sam Kid Cap. Sam.
Yeah, and then now I get what you're saying. I think it was Remender. I think it was Remender.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, because Remender was during the run. Actually, yeah, that's exactly what it was, because I think it was towards the end of Remender's run where the Nail sucked all the super soldier serum out of Cap, and then he reverted back to the 70-year-old man. And that's where they made him shorter to match the MCU.
Right.
And he ended up being like a logistics guy, like more strategy based.
You think Chris Evans is coming back? He denied it, but I mean that doesn't mean anything.
But like, in what capacity are you saying? Like, as full on Steve Rogers Captain America?
Well, as Steve Rogers. I don't know what he would come back, and I feel like him coming back in Cap 4 would totally just take away from Sam being Cap.
I don't think he does. I honestly don't think he does, especially because he's referred to as being gone in the show multiple times. There's no like in secret, like when they're around other people, they're like, oh, Steve Rogers is gone, or Captain America's gone, or whatever. And then like between the two of them, they're like, oh yeah, I just saw him the other week. He's doing fine. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I don't think he shows up at all in any capacity as Cap or Steve, partly for the reasons that you've said, because yeah, it would steamroll it. It does. The second you hear about Tobey Maguire or even Andrew Garfield in a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, you immediately go, oh, instead of being like, oh, new Spider-Man movie, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Like some people will go, finally, I get some closure for these characters that didn't have any closure in the previous movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I know people like that.
Yeah. Some of them are annoying. Maybe not so much in Amazing Spider-Man, but mostly in the Raimiverse. Those Raimiverse fans are kind of annoying.
Those Raimiverse movies, man.
But anyway, so like it would steal the thunder, and especially because this is like the first Captain America movie without Evans as Captain America. He should be nowhere near it.
No.
If he's in that movie, it's as a picture.
As a picture or as a flashback of Sam thinking about him.
I don't even want to see it in the flashback, in all honesty, unless they literally use scenes from previous movies.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a new scene as a flashback, because again, that's going to take away from it. I just want it. Tombstone.
Yep.
I mean, I know they say he's gone and they imply that he's dead, but we don't know that he's still in that timeline.
No, we don't. We don't know what happened.
We don't know. Like, he might have went back to the timeline where he had that full rich life with Peggy.
Yeah.
So I mean, and the fact that they say he's gone works, because then they can recast him at a later time.
Agreed.
Bring him back and recast him at a later time, but we'll see what happens.
Just long enough, like later on, where I can see this happen. I got to see Wolverine and Captain America on the screen together. I got it.
It's not going to happen.
It's got to happen.
That right there.
10
okay.
Years from now.
So here's where I will give you something.
Oh, thanks, man.
If they do a flashback scene,
yeah,
where Hugh Jackman is Weapon X, like totally out to lunch Wolverine, fighting a World War II era Captain America with Chris Evans, I'll be on board for that.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Even if they literally shoot it for no other reason, just to show us that, then that's fine.
Even if,
but I don't want to see. I don't want to see Steve Rogers at all in Cap 4, and I love Cap. Especially like the MCU Captain America movies are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. I love the character. That character, like that version of the character, got me into Captain America more so than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cap was always one of those guys where I liked the idea of the character, but largely never read the books for too long because the books weren't that great to me.
I tried Mark Waid.
There's always standout runs, but
like Mark Waid had a decent run.
Yes, he did.
I read Robert Kirkman when he did a little run, and that was good. But yeah, Brubaker, that's where it's
Brubaker.
at. Nobody since has come close to what Brubaker did on that book.
No, and Brubaker's run was great, but mostly because like he spent the first chunk of that run building up Cap.
Yeah.
So that he could build up Bucky as well, and then kill off Cap so that Bucky could take over. But he also built up Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
He built up Sharon Carter.
Sharon was
He
awesome.
built up Falcon. He built up the Red Skull. He built up Dr. Faustus. You know, like Crossbones. Sin was introduced, I believe, in that run as well. Like there's so much fucking shit that is so amazing. It's one of the best runs of all time, just in general for comics.
Oh, easily. And I mean, and not just like Brubaker, like the team of artists that worked with him on that.
Steve Epting was always one of those guys where I was like, yeah, he's a good artist. Like, I mean, I like it. You know, it's a distinct style and you can pick it out.
Mm-hmm.
But that book was on another level. I was like, oh my God, this guy's incredible.
Yeah, and then when he came on the book, they had Mike Perkins and Butch Geist or whatever.
Yeah, Butch Juice is how I always pronounce it. He's an old Superman artist.
Yeah, and both of them have very similar artists.
It worked perfectly too. Yeah. Another one that would have worked perfectly was Lark. Greg Lark would have been able to sub in there quite nicely.
Yeah.
But even the Jim Steranko style covers.
Oh, the covers were gorgeous. They look like movie posters.
Oh man. They also kind of reminded me of Sinkwich. No, it's Steranko. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
The Steranko run. Yeah. But yeah, so good. But so at the end of the day, I mean, this is like High Top Films actually called this the best Marvel movie he's seen in years. This is like very much a ridiculously good run. Yeah, like I mean, it's right up there with WandaVision, where I am like, I only have a handful of like, I don't necessarily want to say dislikes, but just things that I'm just kind of like,
little nitpicks.
Yeah, nitpicks are fine. Yeah,
overall,
it was great.
I have nothing I really dislike. Like there's nothing I hate whatsoever about either show. I mean, I could say I probably prefer WandaVision. I see myself watching WandaVision more, and I don't know, like. There was things I wish would have been done a little differently in this show. The first episode was great. Seeing Falcon in action was awesome. Mm-hmm. Seeing Bucky do his thing, trying to come to peace. That Asian man he had dinner with all the time, like that was awesome. Yeah. And then when they get together in the second episode and they're with that therapist and they're bickering, and I was loving it. I was like, oh, this is like Tango and Cash.
That was so good. That was so good. That was right good.
I almost wish we would have got a little more of that. Like Marvel likes to just stick comedy so much in their stuff, and this was the one time where I wish I had, because it gets really serious with the two of them near the end. Like there's not a lot of joking back and forth.
I enjoyed that though, and I thought that the stuff where like they almost started to tease that maybe Sam might or Bucky might actually start dating Sam's sister.
Yeah,
like even that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but even just
stuff.
Integrating the family aspect, like introducing the sister and the kids, and the fact that the Wilson family has a legacy of their own, and that Sam's trying to maintain that, which I thought was kind of an interesting story too, where at first it was kind of like, we can change this and make it better. And then it was like, no, let's keep this legacy going. Let's make it our own. And I was like, that really ties the Captain America story in really well, because that's what he's doing, is he's continuing the legacy, but he's making it his own.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm actually happy with the amount of comedy that was in this, because too much of it, and I think it would have robbed the show of its seriousness.
I don't want like lots of comedy, and I don't want stupid comedy. The bickering was funny to me.
But they didn't have to bicker all the way through. Like they bickered in Madripoor almost the entire time.
Yeah, and it was great.
But at some point, the bickering does have to stop, because they both start to realize the seriousness of the situation.
Yes.
You know, this isn't just a regular run of the mill, like whatever. This is now, okay, so, you know, this guy is Captain America. He's killed somebody on camera with the shield. So where's the time for jokes for that, right? And then after that, after they get the shield, That's actually one of my favorite scenes. Is the second that Sam gets the shield, the first thing he does is he starts trying to get that blood off.
Yeah.
I actually got a little teary-eyed with that one because I was like, "Oh, that is just so cool." Because he was like emotional about it too because there's blood on the shield. You should never see blood on the shield.
No.
So he goes to kind of clean it up, but then after that, it's also the Flag Smashers, specifically Carly, because now he's trying to appeal to Carly's good side. And that's another thing that I really liked about that too, was that he doesn't fight her. Mm-hmm. He's just trying to appeal to her. He's starting to do things like Captain America in his own way, but I'm just like, oh man, that's so great. Like she's like basically trying to goad him into killing her, and he's just not going to do it. I was like, that's awesome. That's so great. And he wanted to help her. He was just like, look, we can help you. And it was kind of like mirroring the whole Cap Bucky thing, where you're just like, he sees the good in her. Yeah. And that's another very powerful part. So again, it's one of those where like, where can you inject the comedy where it doesn't feel out of place?
Yeah, I know. And maybe that's just one of those things where if they would have had more episodes, it could have played out. But
I mean, I guess the only way that they could have increased the length of the show is if they would have spent more time with the family.
Yeah.
And then you could kind of have a little bit more jokes there too. But then, like I said, after the Cap stuff, then you have the end sequence where Isaiah Bradley is brought to the Isaiah Bradley portion of the Captain America Museum. That's such a heartfelt moment that it's like, now this is coming from me. We don't always need jokes. Ironic. This is coming from me. Joking is like my defense mechanism. So,
no, that end scene was fantastic. Right from the speech and then into that.
Hey, Titan, come here. Come here, big guy. Come here. Sit. Good boy. Yeah, my good boy. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's the bits and pieces that they had were great and they were well placed. I don't think there was any more places after that for it. Hold on. After the speech, Bucky did that thing where he's just like, I was too busy texting. All I heard was Black Man, Stars and Stripes. That's kind of funny.
That's
kind of fun. That's good. It was a nice. That should have been good enough, Kenneth. You should just be happy with what you got.
I don't know.
Don't be a regular comic fan who's never happy with anything.
I think it was a great show. It was a great show.
I know you think it's a great show.
I love Anthony Mackie, man. I just watched that Synchronic movie. Holy shit, is he crazy good in that?
And I can't wait to see that. I actually forgot about that.
This in the same week, that last episode, I was just like, dude, this guy.
He's so good. Plus, what I love, he and Stan seem like they're buddies in real life too.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Evans is buddies with them too. I mean, they're all the same age. Just because Chris Evans retired from the role, I mean, he's still the same age as the other two.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, other than that, like, I will say though, this is one of those shows where I'm like, I'm glad it led right into Cap 4 because I don't know if Cap and the Winter Soldier season 2 or season 1, I guess you could argue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it'd be cool to see. There's no way around it. It'd be cool to see because they did such a great job with this show. But for this to lead into Cap 4, I think is way better. And I'm glad that they held off on Cap 4 until after the show.
Do you think Bucky appears in Cap 4, or do you think Bucky gets into the show?
No.
He appears in Cap 4.
Yeah, he does.
And Sharon again, I'm assuming?
That one I don't know. That one, it'll all depend on Secret Invasion.
And who would Cap Sam fight? Like, who does he have as a villain? Would it just be a old school Cap villain?
I mean, there isn't.
Like, I'm excited to see Cap 4, but I'm thinking, like, I wonder who they would use as a villain. Red Skull.
I mean, why not, right? But I mean, if he hasn't returned yet, why now?
Why
And
not?
how? How does he do that? Is this something that happens because of Loki? You know what I mean? Like it's interesting.
Interesting. Loki's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that one I think I have a feeling that might be the standout for me, like because it's such a bonkers concept.
Yeah.
But he's just so good in the role.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like he's wearing. It's like Loki in the comic book should try to be like Tom Hiddleston. You know?
Yeah, you're right. They're doing the bonkers and then the grounded stuff and then bonkers. And then tactically the next one after this could be Hawkeye, which will be grounded again.
Yeah. That one I think it'll be grounded, but it'll be a little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one will be a little bit more lighthearted.
Friendly.
But yeah, it's definitely gonna be grounded. I guess because you'll need like palate cleansers, right? So
yeah.
And you can also get like more people watching it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because there's like a bunch of people that watched WandaVision that didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier because they were like, it does nothing for me.
Adrian's one of them.
Well, makes perfect sense.
She doesn't like spy movies, and she watched the first episode with me, and she went, "No, this isn't for me. You can watch it whenever."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it makes perfect sense. But she might check out Loki and be like, whoa.
Yeah. She'll probably like Loki. She likes Tom Hiddleston as Loki.
Doesn't.
Who doesn't though? Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't? Who doesn't like Tom Hiddleston as Loki?
He was the one where like when I watched what did I know? In fact I watched all of I think I watched I watched all of them before Avengers. That's right. And even though I wasn't like a huge fan of Thor the movie itself, I thought the casting was great, but I was like, this Tom Hiddleston, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then you watch him in Avengers, and then you're like, what?
Yeah. Like he is the standout in every movie, no matter how disappointing it may be. Dark World, he was great in Dark World.
He was the best thing in Dark World.
Yeah.
He was also the best thing in Ragnarok. And that was tough because Killick was in that movie.
I need to rewatch Ragnarok. I gotta watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again on its own. Because if I watch it again after the other two, it's too much of a John. I can't take it. It's too much of a change. If I watch it on its own.
It's on my list of rewatch just because like I feel the same way. I feel like if I watch it on its own, I'll be fine. I'll be absolutely fine with it. And then leading into Infinity War and then Endgame, you're just like, like that's just it's too good. It's too good. So overall, another great show, another great outing from Marvel TV Studios. Anthony Mackie is the best stuff of his career. Like it's so good. I can't wait for Cap for Sebastian Stan, same thing. He just keeps getting better in this role.
Yeah.
I would like to see a Bucky movie. I think he could definitely do a Bucky movie because like the concept for Bucky where he's like making amends with people, that was my idea for another Bourne movie. I thought like at the end of Jason Bourne, I felt like it just kind of made sense that for him to kind of keep saying that he would just do the stuff he did in the previous two movies where he was going and making amends to these people. Like in Supremacy at the end where he tells the daughter, hey, yeah, I know you think your mom killed your dad and then killed herself. That's not how it went down. I did it. I killed them. And then I made it look like that. And she's like, why are you? Well, wouldn't you want to know? And then he leaves, you know?
Yeah.
So that was my I thought that would be a nice idea. And then that's how you get other bad guys out of the woodwork, because once people start hearing that Jason Bourne's still alive, then they go, well, let's find him and kill him. He killed my brother. Let's fucking kill him. Or he wrecked my entire criminal organization. So fucking let's kill him, right? And all he's trying to do is make amends with these people. And not everything works out perfectly. You might have one of them sit there and go, you killed my wife? Fuck you, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, and while he's trying to make amends, that guy goes, Jason Bourne showed up on my house, told me that he killed his wife, so we have to kill that guy. So I thought that would be a great way to open up story. But for them to do that for Bucky, I think is great, and it's sustainable for at least a movie.
I would totally be down with it. It's got to be called Bucky though, or something different. Like he has to let go of the Winter Soldier persona.
Yeah, like I know they kept trying to. They mentioned the White Wolf again.
Yep.
And I think the White Wolf works.
Mm-hmm.
I like in fact, when they threw that out in Infinity War, I was just like, or no, wasn't it the end of Black Panther? Didn't they call him
White Wolf?
They.
Yeah, the end credits.
Yeah, they called him White Wolf. That's right. They
Yeah.
called him White Wolf.
Yeah.
So I think like that would have been. I would be fine with that because it's not something that. Because for us, he was Winter Soldier, then he was Captain America, then he was just Bucky. And they called him the Winter Soldier in the comic books because it's a cool title. Like it's a really cool fucking name.
It's a cool name. Yeah.
But I mean, I can understand why he would not want to be called that because of everything that's associated with that.
Yeah.
So getting him into the White Wolf works, or maybe even just calling him Bucky.
Yeah.
Just straight up Bucky.
And I'd be down with that. Like
so would I.
Almost like I want to see him in Cap 4. But I kind of want to see him go out on his own and do his own thing and get his own show or movie.
I have to agree. I feel like him being in Cap 4 is a guarantee. It's all but a guarantee because the chemistry with them is amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, this will be like the first year of Sam as Captain America. So it almost would make sense that he would have Bucky there to sort of help him along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, who knows what they're gonna do? And so far, what they've been doing, I really can't complain. Like, I don't remember the last time where I actually was just like, I don't know what the hell Marvel was thinking. Like, this is absolutely stupid. I mean, the Eternals is the only one where I'm a little iffy about it, but I haven't seen a trailer yet, and everything I've seen prior, I have no choice but to think it's going to be good. Like I really,
Did it switch spots with Shang-Chi?
I think it did.
Because originally it was Black Widow and then Eternals. I think Shang-Chi's coming first now, and that's what we got.
Shang-Chi is coming first, and then I think after that it's Black Widow, and then Eternals.
No, Black Widow's next month.
Sorry, so Black Widow, then Shang-Chi, then Eternals.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not excited for Eternals. I'll tell you that.
I'm not excited at all. I mean, that's one of those rare concepts where I'm familiar with it enough to be like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
But I'm not actually. No, in fact, I'm not. I'm more familiar with the Inhumans than I am with the Eternals, and I'm not really that familiar with the Inhumans. I just know that like there's Crystal and Black Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dog thing. Lockjaw? Is that his name?
Yeah, Lockjaw.
Man.
Yeah.
I am quite the encyclopedia. Yeah, when you start talking Eternals, I'm like, I got no fucking clue.
Eternals.
And I'm not really.
I really know nothing. I know it revolves around Celestials.
Yeah. They look really cool.
Galactus. I mean,
like they look really cool in the screenshot that I saw. I was like, okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, all they had to do is just make them look like they did in the comic books. They had to kind of do what they did with Guardians, where they had the celestial head as a fucking outpost.
Yeah, that was cool.
But other than that, I'm like, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if it's any good. I mean, it might be. It's hard to say it won't be good. It's really hard to say it won't be good because, like, even like the worst Marvel movie, I think is still considered to be Thor: The Dark World, and that's still not a terrible movie.
Yeah,
for me, I would make Thor the absolute bottom of the MCU barrel, and even then, I can't say that that's a bad movie.
I think my least favorite is still Iron Man 2.
No, Thor 1 is my least favorite.
Yeah.
But Iron Man 2 I would have to say would probably be the second least favorite.
And then even then, like with those two, those are the disappointing ones. Now it's pretty much all the ones I like in order of how much I like it to how much I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like
I really enjoy the Incredible Hulk. I don't think it's a terrible movie, like everyone else.
yeah,
does.
I agree.
But
I
it's
absolutely
going to be at
agree.
the lower end of my list.
Right, because like there's just more movies I like more, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Anyway,
I don't have anything else to say.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
I did like
that
that at the end credits.
So did I. I definitely was like,
it made me happy.
That's awesome.
It made me happy.
So Geek Pantsers, once again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for letting us into your hearts via YouTube, via Instagram, via Facebook, via Twitter, via geekpantsmedia.com, via SoundCloud, via Apple and Google Podcast, and in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
Amen.
This is my new favorite one where you just go.
I gotta be honest.
But yes,
man, Sam's speech at the end was way better than yours just now.
Yeah, it was. It was very much. It was on a whole nother level, and that's as it should be. He's as Captain America after all.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm out speeching Captain America, that's a problem.
Captain Canada.
Why not? Right?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. Update that costume so it doesn't literally look like Captain America with your red and white color scheme.
Even has a shield.
Well, I think now they have a version where it's a little bit more armored.
It is. It's more it kind of looks more like what's his name? Guardian from Alpha Flight.
Yeah, Guardian from Alpha Flight, and he's got like such a weird backstory. Captain Canuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you said Captain Canada, but it's actually Captain Canuck.
Well, I called you Captain Canada.
I know, but I'm just because I can't help it. I have to sit there and state for the record.
I know.
Captain Canuck.
I also know about these characters.
That's right. Yeah, I even know about characters that aren't part of any official publishing company.
Yep.
Oh, Alpha Flight and the Guardian. That was nice. James Hudson.
James Hudson. That's his name?
It's his name.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. He's like an encyclopedia of knowledge that no one really needs to know. But you know what? You should write comics. I mean, why wouldn't you? You got all the info right there.
I probably should. I mean, I can barely hammer a nail, but I can recite some comic book history.
Hells yeah.
Actually, I'm getting better with hammering nails. Drywall I'm terrible at, though. Michelle, she's really good, but not me.
Pro.
Nope.
Pro. Captain Drywall.
I don't know if she would like the term Captain Drywall, though.
I wouldn't.
I mean, why would you? Like, even if that's your slogan for like a drywall company, if I heard like Captain Drywall, I'd be like, no. Everything, because you know what it reminds me of, like that super sealant. Remember that driveway sealant? And it's that shitty version of Superman.
Yes. Yep.
It's like, and they have to do it in such a way where you immediately think it's Superman, but you can't say that it is, right? I think it's actually super sealant or super sealer or something like that. But I remember just seeing the first time I saw that picture, I was like, oh, it's not Superman. Oh,
no, super sealant.
Driveway? What the fuck? But whatever. So again, like I said, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you do, let us know. If you don't, let us know. I mean, come on. Some civil discourse is what I'm looking for.
Damn right.
And just like last time, if you want to troll, use your real name.
Yeah,
don't hide behind your handles. Use your real name. Hey, Ken, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, Chris, you did everything perfect.
I just wanted to hear you say it.
You're welcome.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield. What's the next line?
I don't fucking know. I don't have that knowledge. I don't remember that song at all.
What is it? Let those who oppose his foes must yield.
Okay, now I gotta look at the lyrics. Now.
Yeah.
Captain America song. Is it the theme? Is that what we're calling
The theme. Yeah.
Lyrics. Here we go. Oh, I got the lyrics for some Jimmy Buffett song. Okay, that never worked.
Try it again. Try Captain America cartoon theme.
Oh, Captain America is actually a song by Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, that guy doesn't know anything about Captain America.
I can't.
He really doesn't. He's actually one of those guys that was saying COVID is a myth and you shouldn't wear a mask, and then got COVID. Like he's currently fighting COVID right now as we speak.
Really?
Fucking retard. Oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to say retard because that's actually, it makes it seem like everyone that has mental disabilities is in the same category as Jimmy Buffett, and that's not the case. No, sorry, not Jimmy Buffett. Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent was the guy I was talking about. I apologize, Jimmy Buffett, even though you will never see this, but just in case, I apologize for lumping you in the same category as Ted Nugent.
And just because this is so freaking old, I'm not worried about a copyright strike.
What?
Oh yeah.
So hold on. What was the line though?
All those that oppose his shield must yield.
Ah, those who oppose his shield must yield. That's right.
I like it.
I was close. I was really close though.
You were.
I want to say I was shockingly close, but the reality is I was not. It was shocking that I wasn't right. More shocking that I didn't know the entire song.
Yeah. You can't know everything, man. You just can't.
No, I can't. No, I can't. The older I get, the more I forget. But I retain all the comic book stuff. Whatever.
You'll be a cool old guy.
I'm already a cool old guy. That's right, guys. And that is it for the Geek Pantsers. We are out of here.